Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Eclectic Tarot. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber or supporter of mine, welcome back. As you all know, I use tarot and astrology as well as discernment. We love discernment to examine the energetics of people, situations, notable events, and even all of the things that are happening in politics, the political arena. And I use these tools, to get into the spiritual tea. And today's video is brought to you by channel member Kevin JB. He asked me to look into the chart of the gentleman that we see here. Vivek Ramaswamy. I am so sorry, sir, if I mispronounced your name. Um, but I'm just here to look into your energies. And if you don't know, I recently looked into the natal chart of everyone's favorite businessman, Elon Musk. And yeah, this is where this all started. So again, thanks, Kevin. Now, let me begin by saying that I don't know too much about Vivek, except that he was running for president on the Republican Party ticket, and then he suspended his campaign to endorse now President elect Donald Trump. And, I got his birthday, I looked it up online, made a chart for him. That's really it, that's all. And let me just say that I received his information from Astro Databank, where many astrologers go to pull information, birthdays, and times for their charts. And his information has a rotten rating of AA. And this means that his birth information comes from his birth certificate. So the information from his birth certificate, certified by the rotten rating of AA, that's what I use to make this chart. So Vivek was born in Cincinnati, Ohio on August 9th, 1985 at 6:51 p.m. So he was born in the summer. This makes him a Leo sun, a Gemini moon, and a Capricorn rising. He has a day chart, which makes his benefic Jupiter, and his most malefic planet is Mars, and his sect light is the sun. Now, looking at this chart, you can kind of see clusters of, aspects and planets on there. But what I really focused in on was the eighth house stellium that he has right here. And this is a stellium of three personal planets. It's Mercury, it's Sun, and it's Mars. Now, just off bat, his Mercury is retrograde in Leo at 18 degrees, conjunct the Sun at 17 degrees. We can see that here. His Mars is at 10 degrees of Leo. Both of these planets are combust. So his Mercury is combust and his Mars is combust as well. Now, overall, just looking at this chart, I kind of feel like a lot of who he is energetically is based on what he wants to present to the world, his outward appearance and status to the world. And I'm going to explain all of what I mean as I go through his chart. So again, Vivek's sun is in Leo. Now, the sun being in Leo, his sun is domicile. So his sun is happy here. Leo is the sign that the sun is the most comfortable in. And his sun is in the sign that is outwardly energetic, it's expressive, it's confident, it's ambitious. It attracts a lot of people to it naturally, right? We all hear about how magnetic Leos are when we're talking about your general zodiac signs, how magnetic Leos are, how they have this charisma, how people are drawn to him. That's his sun. That's the energy of his sun. It attracts people to it naturally. And, this is the energy of leadership. So, looking at this, it does not shock me, to find out that he was indeed running for the office of president of the United States. Okay. I mean, listen, you definitely have to be confident to even think about, throwing your hat in the ring for such a position, as well as thinking that you are someone that is able to carry the weight of such a position. He has balls. He definitely has balls. Now, his Mercury is retrograde and combust. And, combustion is usually a weakened state, a planet being burnt by the sun, depending on how close it is to the sun. And we can see his Mercury. We can see his Mercury right here, 18 degrees retrograde. And listen, the thought process is that combustion weakens a planet, that a planet is not able to fully perform, do what it's supposed to do. Um, I think that even though his Mercury is in Leo and it's combust, I think that it's still supporting his sun. The term normally for that, combustion, not combustion, the term normally for that, when, Mercury is so close to the sun that it's under the beams in the heart of it, that's Kazemi. But, his Mercury is combust. But I really think that, just in terms, it's debilitated, it's weakened, but I don't think that it actually is weak for him. I don't think that he is suffering from a debilitated or a weak Mercury. Now, it may have presented itself, and I really don't know much about him, but I think that intuitively, the Mercury is still supporting his sun. So, in the fiery ways that one will communicate, um, say things, be confident in the way that they speak. Probably the only way that any debilitation at all presented itself was maybe a loss of objectivity, right? What are you saying? Maybe even, along the lines of being a hypocrite, someone who may say things to further their own success, because Mercury is, information based. It moves around, it likes information. Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini, and those are some very, very information, analytical, fact-based signs. So I think that if his Mercury is debilitated, he might be a hypocrite. He might not be able to see things objectively. And he's gonna say whatever he's gonna say to gain success. He's gonna pander, right? So I think that that is how his Mercury is behaving for him, even though, quote unquote, it's debilitated. Um, he's intelligent. I think he went to Harvard, but I don't think he's debilitated in the way of like learning disability, or he can't speak effectively, speech issues, anything like that. I don't think he has that. I don't think he has dealt with that. Um, and let me just say that, someone with a combust Mercury, it happens. Okay. It happens because, Mercury is usually within about 17 to 28 degrees of the sun. Mercury is always, in the same sign of the sun or within, a sign of the sun. So as you can see, his sun is in Leo, his Mercury is in Leo. If Mercury was moving forward, Mercury would probably be in Virgo, but Mercury will not be, on the other side of the chart. Mercury is always close to the sun. So, quote unquote, combust Mercuries, they happen all the time for people. So, him having a combust Mercury, this isn't something that's rare and unique. Okay. It's not anything that's rare or unique. Now, his Mars, 10 degrees of Leo, his Mars is combust as well. Now, with his Mars, I think that being in the sign of Leo, I think that he has a I'm not gonna say an obsession, but I think he yearns for power and leadership. Okay. And I think that his combust Mars would make him so ambitious for leadership, almost like if he isn't in charge of something, he won't feel like he's accomplished. Okay. Leaders like to lead, leaders like to be picked, leaders like to be chosen, leaders like to feel like they're in control. And I think that his combust Mars would manifest in the way of, him feeling that if he isn't in charge of something, he hasn't made it. Okay. So yeah, that's that eighth house right there. Now we can look here. His moon is in Gemini. Okay. Again, Mercury rules Gemini. So the ruler of his sixth house of service, volunteering, duty, day-to-day issues, um, it's Mercury. So this Mercury Mercury moon is pulling energy from I'm sorry, this Gemini moon is pulling energy from this Mercury, okay? I think that um I think he's the type of person that deals with things by staying busy, right? Because we have all this energy moving around up here. And then we have the moon, right? Emotions, things like that. We have the moon in another sign that's energetic. We have the elements of fire, and then we have the elements of air, right? I think that he deals with things by staying busy. I also think that he is very emotionally intelligent. He knows how to read the room and he uses this to its advantage. I think he knows how to work a room, especially because the moon rules Cancer. And right now, this Cancer is ruling the seventh house of partnerships, right? So, he has Venus and Cancer in the seventh house. Yeah, I think this placement here and this here, I think they're working together. So I think that's going to lead him to be someone who knows how to work the room, who knows how to be charismatic, who has emotional intelligence. He knows the right things to say. I'm not going to say it's manipulative, but he knows how to say things and he knows how to take what he says or what he's thinking and transform it in a way that's palatable to other people, to people who like him, right? I think he's able to do that to gain more alliances, partnerships, work in the room. Imagine being at a formal gala and you have to work the room, you have to network. I think he knows how to do that. I think he knows how to do that. Now, back to his Venus here. I think he's someone that actually cares about his relationships and partnerships because he understands that networking and sounding like you have some sense, he understands that your network is your net worth. Okay. I think this Venus in Cancer, I think it makes him sincere emotionally. I think he's definitely quote unquote softer than, say, Elon Musk. And by the way, if you have not seen my chart analysis of Elon Musk, please do so. I will link it around somewhere around here for you. But yeah, I do think that he is quote unquote softer around the edges than Elon Musk. But I think that this softness allows him to navigate relationships so much more. Like he is seen as someone who is quote unquote more wholesome, more complete, whereas Elon gives off as stereotypical as it sounds, tech bro vibes, right? Now, moving right along, he has he has A Capricorn Neptune that is retrograde. Now, Neptune, the planet of faith, dreams, illusion, um, depending on the state it's in, nightmares. You can have mental health issues. There can be substance abuse. There's confusion. Neptune is all of those things. His retrograde Neptune is being filtered through Capricorn. Okay, we can see it here in his first house. It's it's in the early degrees of Capricorn, and Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And this placement in his first house, I think that Vivek is someone who understands that not only does someone need support and a foundation and a support system to make it in life, to build, to be supported in business, in commerce, in finance. I think he found that out. And I think he understood that from an early age that success for him is not going to be this, you know, the United States of America likes to tout itself as a melting pot and we're so diverse and we love everyone and there's no racism and there's no bigotry, which we all know that's a lie. I think that Vivek found out early on that the way for him to build, the way for him to get ahead was going to be cultivating the right image. He was not, quote unquote, sold on the dream of we're going to all be friends and kumbaya in this diverse melting pot. Okay. He's 2 years younger than me. Okay. He's 2 years younger than me. I was born in 83. As you can see, he was born in 85. And, I learned some things early on about race, culture, nationality, all these different things that people identify themselves with. I think Vivek found out early on he's not going to go the diversity route. He's not going to go the diversity route. He's going to go the route that's going to help him cultivate the right image. What is the right image? Okay? He's a conservative. He's a conservative. Okay? The right image for him is the different tropes that get aligned with being a conservative in the United States of America. You all know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, I know that all conservatives are not the same, but I just think that he studied the group of people that he saw as the people who made it, the people who were powerful leaders. And I think he followed down their paths, right? Coming from Ohio, okay, Ohio is part of the Rust Belt. We can kind of see things that came out of there. Ohio is not Los Angeles or San Diego. Okay, understand what I'm saying? I think again, he studied people that he saw to be powerful leaders, people who have made it, and he followed them. He took their image and what he saw and he cultivated it for himself. And for him, like I said, it was conservative energy. Okay. The energetics of being a patriot, of being American, not being Indian American. Okay. Being American. Patriot, period. Okay. He knew not to lead with his heritage, but rather his nationality. Okay, because he's first generation, his parents are Indian immigrants. So he was born here. He's first generation. So he doesn't call himself Indian American. He's I'm American. He understands his culture. It's part of him, but that's not part of his presentation. His presentation is conservative American. And I think it was safer for him. Okay. Now, he also has a Capricorn ascendant. And again, Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So again, we're going back to the themes of Okay, how do I take reasonable actions? How can I be ambitious and be hardworking and honest and independent and stability and things like that? Doesn't that sound like some of the keywords used by patriots and conservatives? Right? Okay, I'm not here playing politics, but I'm just, when you think about Republican campaigns, right? We hear certain things, right? Y'all know what I'm saying. It is what it is. Now, this is all happening here in his first house. So that's who he is. If you look at pictures of him online, he is definitely, in the suit, clean cut. He is presenting businessman. He is presenting CEO. He is presenting imagery of, ye old BlackBerry. If you all remember BlackBerry smartphones, right? And, not he does not present cool. He does not present fun. He does not present quote unquote the tech bro image. Okay, he's conservative, power driven, business. That's what he presents. So this is what we see him as. Now, his Saturn, if we go up here, his Saturn is in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So he is passionate about power structures. And I think that secretly, I think that he wants to be um an authority. I think that he wants to be an authority, and I think that he wants to be in power, but not like in a tyrannical type of way. I think he wants to be in power because him being able to gain whatever the highest leadership position is within his circles, that's going to be his aha, I made it. Okay. It will be like, I made it. So now what do they think of me? And his Pluto right here. His Pluto is also in Scorpio, and I truly, we're talking about generational planets here. And I have, my Saturn is in Scorpio as well. Um, I think my Pluto is in Libra, but my Saturn is in Scorpio as well. Now, I think for him, just going with everything here in the chart, I think that he truly wants to be the change that he wanted to see. Yes, it's for clout. Yes, it's for power, but I truly think there's a part of him that wants to make change and feel like what he's doing or what he achieves is a way to make things better, especially as it pertains to politics, right? Um, and I think this is what helped support him in his running for president. Okay. He was 38 years old, running for president, okay? And really, that's kind of young. His being 38 when he was running for president, that made him the second youngest person to run for president, okay? After William Jennings Bryan in like the early 1900s, right? So, having the balls to run for president that young, it's a power play, it's a power move, but I really do think that, he was just like, "Yeah, I can probably change some things," right? Yeah, looking at his Uranus is here in Sagittarius in his 12th house, and yeah, yeah, this Uranus, uh-huh, this Uranus in Sagittarius, listen, Uranus is sudden, Uranus is the person that makes waves, and in Sagittarius, this is mover and shaker energy. And as you can see here, his Uranus definitely is supporting all of this that's going on here. This gives him the flair, the extra risk taking to support all of this going on here. Okay. That fiery Sagittarius is adding more energy to the sun and Mars. Okay. He is not afraid to take risks. Okay. That may potentially bring him opportunities to get him where he wants to be. Okay. Now he does have his Scorpio Saturn does have beef. Okay. Does have beef with his Leo sun, right? Saturn is like, we're going to do things. Yeah, we're going to transform things, but we're going to do things right. We're going to build control, precision. His son is just like, I don't need to read the instructions. Okay. Don't you know who I am? I got this. Okay. So there is a little bit of beef here, as it pertains to how is he going to build, what person is he really going to be? Okay. I think that sometimes he truly wants to go all out and fly off the deep end like Elon Musk, but he has to maintain the appearances here. He has to maintain the appearances here. He'll get into a heated debate. He'll debate. He will, debate and argue and all like that. He's not going to be calling people the R word like Elon, right? Because Vivek has a rep to keep here. Now, looking at his Jupiter, I think his Jupiter is well placed. Okay. His Jupiter is well placed. This is Aquarius, so Saturn. So he definitely had the energy. He pulled the energy Aquarius through Saturn to build his wealth, amass his wealth. Okay. He was investing in biotech. And then I think he started his own biotech company, right? I looked into things a little bit, but not really, really like his childhood or anything like that. But yeah, he was investing, not like that. He made his money. So I think his Jupiter is well placed because the second house is the house of material things, things that we value. Okay, your possessions, things like that. So yeah, I think he did good for himself. This is not generational wealth. This is wealth that he built, okay, himself. This is wealth that he built himself, okay? Now, again, he did that. He made his fortune in the I think it was biotech, cancer medicines and treatments for other health issues. Okay, and that's through the Aquarian filter. Okay, amassing his wealth in biotech, things that are quote unquote humanitarian, like advancements in medicine. That's the whole humanitarian theme of Aquarius right there. Okay. Now, I think that energetically, he deals with this right here, this big red line. That's opposition. I think that personally for him, I think that there's what are we gonna do? What is we gonna do? Okay. And this is between his second and eighth houses. Energetically, does his quest for success in leadership and those high positions that he want, do they conflict with how he made his wealth? Do they conflict with the energy that has been presented to him in his natal promise of being somewhat of a humanitarian? Do those things conflict? Okay. How can he balance both ends of the powerful energy that flows in him? Okay. And that's for him to figure out. Um, you know, questions of, is he overly ambitious? And if so, will that harm him in the long run? Okay. Questions of what energetic powers or areas does he want to be remembered by? Okay. Does he want to be the successful leader in conservative political circles? Or does he want to be, the biotech philanthropist? That choice is going to be up to him. And, he's still alive. So we still, we'll see what becomes of him, for those of you who, follow his achievements. Um, but I will say eighth house, eighth house stellium, right? Eighth house stellium, and the final dispositor for this chart is the sun in Leo. So, um, let's walk through this together. Let's walk through this together. It doesn't matter which way we go through the planets in this chart, it all leads back to the sun. A lot of who he is and his natal promise is going to come to him through the sun. But let's walk through it together. We can start anywhere in the chart. Jupiter is in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is in Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Mars is in Leo, which is ruled by the sun, and the sun is in Leo. Same thing if we move to Venus. Venus is in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. Here's the moon here. The moon is in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in Leo, which is ruled by the sun. Sun is in Leo. Okay. So we can do the same thing over and over. It's still going to lead back to the sun. Neptune and Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, in Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars. Mars is in Leo, which is ruled by the sun. It doesn't matter which way we move through the chart. It all leads back to the sun. So, again, what he will make of his life will be his own, right? So, I don't know him, but he has become successful, and that's great. That's great. I don't wish anything bad on him. I don't know him. Again, I was just asked to look at his chart from channel member Kevin JB. So Kevin, like I said, this was for you. That's all I have on Vivek. So, what did you think of this breakdown? Was there anything that shocked you? Did you learn anything? Let me know. Let's start this conversation down in the comments. I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. If you want to support my spiritual work, feel free to like I said, subscribe to the channel or buy me a coffee or, send me a little something on Cash App because, these charts are not 5 minutes worth of work. Um, they're very, very intense, right? Especially with the research that goes into like the people that I'm looking into. Um, yeah, if you need a reading, go ahead and schedule a reading with me, a tarot reading with me, and my astrology natal readings. They will be available in the near future for people who may want me to read their natal astrological charts. So, again, I thank everyone for watching. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video.